Bank made black man wait for hours, then board members walked in and fired the manager. The bank's fluorescent lights buzzed faintly, casting a sterile glow over the polished marble floors. Marcus Tate stood at the counter, his hands gripping the edge, knuckles taut. He'd been waiting for 3 hours. 3 hours to withdraw money from his own account he'd painstakingly built over years of late-night shifts and side hustles. The teller, a young woman with a tight smile, had mumbled something about system issues before disappearing into the back. Marcus glanced at his watch, then at the line of customers behind him, their impatience palpable. He was used to waiting for buses, waiting for opportunities, waiting for respect. But today, the wait felt personal, like a deliberate jab at his dignity. The bank was in a gentrified corner of the city, where glass towers loomed over streets once lined with soul food joints and barbershops. Marcus, a 34-year-old mechanic with a quick laugh and a quicker mind, didn't fit the bank's polished image. His worn jacket and calloused hands stood out against the suited professionals who breezed through the glass doors, their transactions handled in minutes. He'd noticed the pattern: white customers, swift service; black customers, endless delays. Today, though, the delay wasn't just long, it was unbearable. "Sir, we're still verifying your account," the teller said, reappearing with a forced smile. Her eyes darted to the manager, Mr. Hargrove, a middle-aged man with a slicked-back haircut and a tie that screamed authority. Hargrove leaned against a desk, arms crossed, watching Marcus like he was a problem to be solved. Marcus straightened, his voice steady but sharp. "Verifying? I've been banking here for years. You've got my ID, my card, my face. What's there to verify?" Hargrove stepped forward, his tone clipped. "We have protocols, Mr. Tate. Fraud is a serious issue." The word fraud hung in the air, heavy with implication. Marcus felt the eyes of the room on him: customers, tellers, even the security guard by the door. His chest tightened, but he refused to look away. "Fraud?" he repeated, his voice rising. "You're saying I'm a criminal because I want my own money?" The lobby grew quiet, the hum of conversations replaced by an uneasy stillness. A woman in a navy blazer clutched her purse tighter. A young man in a hoodie shifted uncomfortably. Marcus didn't care. He was tired of the sidelong glances, the extra scrutiny, the unspoken assumptions that followed him everywhere. "I've been here since 9 a.m., he said, his voice now a blade. 3 hours. You've served 10 people since I got here, and I'm still standing. Explain that." Hargrove's face reddened. "Lower your voice, sir, or I'll have to ask you to leave." The threat was clear, but Marcus didn't budge. He leaned forward, his eyes locked on Hargrove's. "You don't get to dismiss me. Not today." The standoff was electric, the air thick with tension. Then, a new voice broke the silencia, soft, trembling one. "He's right." It came from a teller named Sarah, a quiet woman who'd worked at the bank for a decade. She stood behind the counter, her hands shaking as she spoke. "I've seen it. We're told to double-check certain customers. It's not random. It's targeted." Her words landed like a stone in a still pond, rippling through the room. The other tellers exchanged glances, some nodding faintly, others looking away. Hargrove's jaw tightened. "Sarah, this isn't the time," he started. But she cut him off, her voice stronger now. "No, it is. I'm tired of pretending this is okay. You make us flag accounts based on how people look. It's wrong." The room seemed to hold its breath. Sarah, a white woman in her 40s, had never spoken out before. Her defiance was a spark, igniting whispers among the staff and customers. Marcus looked at her, surprised but grateful. He hadn't expected an ally, especially not one from behind the counter. But Sarah's words shifted something in the room. The security guard, an older black man named Clarence, stepped forward, his voice low but firm. "I've seen it too. Been here 15 years, and it's always the same. Folks like Mr. Tate get the runaround. It ain't right." Hargrove's composure cracked. "This is insubordination," he snapped, pointing at Sarah and Clarence. "You're out of line." But before he could escalate, the glass doors swung open, and 3 figures in sharp suits entered. The room fell silent again. These weren't regular customers. They carried an air of authority that made even Hargrove pause. The tallest, a woman with silver hair and piercing eyes, scanned the scene. "What's going on here?" she asked, her voice calm but commanding. Marcus spoke first, his voice steady despite the adrenaline. "I've been waiting 3 hours to access my own money. They're treating me like a criminal because of how I look." He gestured to Sarah and Clarence. "They're brave enough to admit it's not just me. It's a pattern." The woman's gaze shifted to Hargrove, who stammered, "It's a misunderstanding, Ms. Reynolds. Just a routine check," but she raised a hand, silencing him. "I'm Evelyn Reynolds, chair of the board. These are my colleagues." She nodded to the 2 men beside her, who watched Hargrove with unreadable expressions. "We were here for a routine inspection, but this demands attention." What followed was swift and surreal. Reynolds and her colleagues listened as Marcus recounted his experience, backed by Sarah's and Clarence's testimonies. Customers began chiming in, some admitting they'd noticed the unequal treatment but stayed silent out of fear or apathy. One woman, a regular, confessed she'd always felt uneasy about the bank's protocols, but never spoke up. The weight of their collective voices was undeniable. Reynolds turned to Hargrove, her voice ice-cold. "Your actions have disgraced this institution. You're relieved of your duties, effective immediately." Hargrove's face drained of color. He opened his mouth to protest, but the board member's stares shut him down. He grabbed his coat and stormed out, the glass doors slamming behind him. The lobby erupted in murmurs, but Marcus felt no triumph, only exhaustion. He looked at Sarah, who gave him a small, apologetic nod, and at Clarence, who offered a weary smile. Reynolds approached Marcus, her expression softer now. "Mr. Tate, I'm deeply sorry. This bank will do better. Starting today." She handed him her card. "If you ever face this again, call me directly." As Marcus finally withdrew his money, the weight of the day settled into his bones. He stepped outside, the city air cool against his skin. The victory was bittersweet. Justice had been served, but it shouldn't have taken a boardroom intervention to make it happen. Sarah's courage, Clarence's quiet strength, and even the customers' belated honesty had turned the tide. But Marcus knew this was one battle in a much larger war. He thought of his younger brother, watching from home, who'd face these same fights someday. For him, Marcus would keep standing, keep speaking. The bank's sign loomed above, promising equal service for all. Today, it felt a little closer to the truth. What do you think? When does silence become complicity in the face of injustice?